I'm Maria Menounos, and you're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
Hi friends, may the fourth be with you. I hope you're doing well in quarantine. This is Quarantine with Stars, where we're catching up with your favorite celebs to see how they're staying safe and sane in quarantine. I'm your host, Brian Santos, and today I am joined by an incredible actor from the new series Upload and so many more exciting projects. Please welcome Keven Bigley. Keven, thanks for being here.
Yeah, thanks for having me, man. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely, I'm super excited. I want to start with something fun. It's Star Wars Day. What's your favorite Star Wars movie?
Oh my God, favorite Star Wars movie. You know, I think the first one, episode one meeting, is just so hilariously terrible. I would say that would be my favorite, just because I remember the disappointment. I love all of them, and I really liked, I even like the new stuff and liked Rogue One. Probably New Hope would be mine. But what elicited like a response was, I remember my confusion coming out of the theater in episode one. I was like 13 years old, just being like, I have to be wrong. I messed that up. I didn't get it. I wasn't vibing with it. I didn't come in with the right headspace. So in a weird way, that's a bad answer. Yeah,
That's so funny. For Star Wars, I've only kind of been like here or there, like never really like sat down and watched the full one. I've caught a lot of them. The one I actually watched was the first one of that like new generation you're talking about with Daisy Ridley. And she was recently on RuPaul's Drag Race as a judge, and I was like, that is such an interesting like mix of worlds, Star Wars and Drag Race. Like, very funny.
Yeah, definitely. But I've always been, it's great. They keep it going. They keep making them. I'll go. Why not?
Definitely.
I got nothing else going on.
Same here. Well, speaking of that, we're all in quarantine. We're all doing whatever we can to keep busy and stay sane. So tell me what you've been doing and how you're doing at home.
Just kind of needling away at my wife's sanity. Just slowly but surely, like I'm just taking building blocks away, driving this woman mad. I play a lot of guitar. I don't know. My wife and I do this thing in the morning. We have coffee. I've become like 80 years old. We just like kind of like walk into the backyard and we have like this garden that we're tending to, and we just like start this dialogue about like how the flowers are doing,
That is so funny.
It's like, it's so geriatric. I'm just like, oh well, this guy just bloomed. Look who bloomed overnight. Like there's like this whole like old, like we've been married 50 years, and we just kind of comment. We're naming plants and talking to them, just being like, you like your sunshine, don't you? Like there's a lot of that. So yeah.
So how are you driving her crazy?
What's that?
How are you driving her crazy? Like, how are you picking away at her sanity?
My very presence mostly does it. I don't know. I'm just kind of I'm a very certain frequency, and it just kind of can be like if it's like if you have like the vent above the stove running, and you're kind of anxious and you don't know why, and then you shut it off. You're like, oh my God, I can breathe. Like that's I think that's my effect on my wife in our marriage. There was like she'll do this thing where if she gets frustrated, she'll just be like, "Argh!" And I act like she's doing something like almost like a Star Wars thing, like she has a power, and she's like, "Argh!" And I'll be like, "Oh!" Like I blew up. It's a dumb joke. I'm not standing behind it, but I did it the other day, and I've done it 1,000 times since we've been locked down. And she just started crying. I was like, why are you crying? And she was like, I'm just so tired of all of your jokes.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That is hilarious.
I'm having an effect for sure.
For sure. I feel like we're all doing different things to kind of keep our sanity. I mean, I guess your sanity is coming at the expense of hers.
Or take sanity away. Yeah. Just slowly withdraw it from people.
Amazing. All right, so let's jump right in. I want to talk about all your exciting projects. I want to talk about your acting. So tell me a little bit about that. Tell me your story and how you got into acting.
Oh man, I don't know. I think I did. I think I was just texting with a few people. It's funny that when you have something come out and people start watching it, and you start talking to people from the past and stuff. Immediately, all the people who you started with or who saw you begin text
Hmm.
you. And so I've been getting a ton of texts from people from like when I did my first play at 13, which was a Midsummer Night's Dream. So everyone's like, "You
I did
remember
that
that?"
too.
Like, yeah, yeah. It's a very common like first play. So that was
Yes.
like my first thing. And I don't know, it was like one of the few things that I thought I was pretty good at. So I was like, okay, I can maybe. I've just started putting all of my eggs in that basket. So then I went to School of the Arts in San Francisco, and it was a high school, and really kind of a grungy arts program that was really cool and fun. And then I went to DePaul University for my BFA and did, I hesitate to say classically trained because it feels like it carries like some kind of heavy weight. There's a connotation to it. So it feels like I'm taking myself very seriously if I go classically trained. So did that, and then I stayed out in Chicago, started working for like a year, and then I moved to LA. So I've been here for about a little over 10 years.
Amazing. Well, speaking of time, you've been with us. The last time you were here with us in AfterBuzz was about 5 years ago. You've done a lot since then. You've done Scream Queens. You've done voice acting. You've done so much amazing stuff. So I want to talk about all that. Let's start with Scream Queens. So for the Selfish Regions, I want to ask about that because it's actually one of my favorite shows. So
Mhm.
hilarious. I know you had a stint on it. It was so fun. Tell me what it was like working on that and working, with the whole crew there. Ryan Murphy, Emma Roberts, Leah Michelle. What was that like?
That was just they had their I came in on season 2 to do a little
Hmm.
arc, and it was just cool because they had their own thing going on. It was really professional. Everybody was really nice and very sweet. I could see how everyone just like treated me as if I'd been there for like a long time. Spoiler alert for me, I get my arms chopped off. So I had to get prosthetics done. So I got my arms like done basically, where they made these big heavy casts, and did it super fun. And then my wife was also an actor, and she was doing a stint on I believe like Code Black or something. And
Mm.
they were like, "Oh, we need, you have an arm injury," and she went to get to the same effects place, and
Oh,
they were like,
cool.
"Oh my God, you're married to Kevin Bigley? We have his arms in the next room. You want to see him?" You give him just these like disembodied arms that are just like, oh yeah, I guess these are
Was she able to
it.
use them for herself?
Yeah, right, I know. Wouldn't it be great? I would love to have my own arms framed in my office. Yeah,
Right?
perfect.
Kind of like one of those like pregnancy casts. I've seen those done, like kind of a
Right.
similar
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Those are my Scream Queen arms. I remember. Yeah.
Definitely. I love that. You also did some voice acting, which on some funny comedies, which is amazing. So tell me how different it is, like voice acting and live acting. Like, what's that like?
Super strange, but really, really fun because it's very sweaty. Because you get in a room and they're piped in, so they're just throwing stuff at you, say it this way, and you just go line by line by line by line. It's a really kind of fun way to act because it's minimal effort. You get to wear a hat. There's showering is minimal, at least the need for it. So it's really great. BoJack Horseman is what I did a lot of stuff on, and also the audition process is just great because then it's like I was just kind of their little Swiss Army knife. It was like whatever celebrities they could not get, who were white dudes. They were you were just like, can you do like a Jimmy Fallon? And it's like, no, but I can try. So I was just like the person who kind of filled the gaps for them, and it was a really cool role. Yeah, I love voiceover.
Definitely. So have you done like a lot of impersonations in your career? Like, is that like a thing you do?
Yeah,
Accents
that
impersonations?
well, that's the fun thing is that Linda LaMontagne, who's the casting director for BoJack, and she also cast Undone, which we did on Amazon as well. She would just call me and you'd be like, "Can you call me back in like 20 minutes and do a Quentin Tarantino?" And I'd be like, "Okay." So it's
Just
just
throw
like,
that
well,
out there.
okay, yeah, there's my afternoon, just like watching a bunch of so yeah, I had to do like Quentin Tarantino, I had to do Jimmy Fallon, I had to do Scott Wolf, I think, or Matthew Fox. I had to do Matthew Fox, which was not, it's like some of them are just like Cameron Crowe. It's like not really an impression. It's just like no one knows what Cameron Crowe sounds like.
Right.
He's just a white guy. So yeah.
Amazing. All right. You talked so much about your past work, and I want to talk about what you have going on right now. Super exciting. Upload just dropped on the 1st, a couple days ago. on Prime Video, which is so exciting. Tell me all about the show, your character, what you liked working on it, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, it's kind of a high concept comedy on Amazon. It's by Greg Daniels, creator of The Office and Parks and Rec. It's pretty loopy. It's about the future, 2033, where we have a virtual afterlife, and your consciousness, your soul, whatever you want to call it, can be uploaded. But there's various companies that have access to the technology. Facebook has an afterlife, Apple has an afterlife, and this one takes place with Horizen. So it's like like this cottage or like a hunting lodge in Vermont. So all of these, but the thing is that only rich people can really afford it. So it's very privileged.
Oh.
This guy ends up getting uploaded there through kind of dubious circumstances after a car wreck. And I'm one of the guys that he meets there, who is very devoted to being his friend. I kind of play like this dude who's like a human Labrador. I'm just kind of following him around, and I have hacks to all these various areas of this technology. It's a very cool, slick show that's really funny. But there's also a rom-com element to it. There's a mystery of like, how did this guy die? Who killed him? You know, how did he get here? I kind of play a very comedic character. So there's all sorts. If you like the Parks and Rec, if you like The Office, if you like The Good Place, if you like Black Mirror, it's kind of like a comedic Black Mirror. It's fun.
Interesting. That seems like a lot happening. So it definitely was super interesting.
Yeah,
I saw the trailer. I definitely wanted to check it out. So I also wanted to
stuff.
check it out because I love Robbie Amell since the Life with Derek days. Since I was like, I think I was probably like 10 when he was on Life with Derek. But how was it like working with him? Do you have any fun stories to share from your time on set?
I didn't know if I was gonna like Robbie. I'll be completely honest, because he's just a very attractive man, and
Not gonna lie.
yeah, and he plays golf and like stuff that I don't necessarily do, you know. And with attractive people, you never know what you're gonna get, because like someone who's that classically good looking couldn't be. You never know. They could be a total dick. So
Yes.
I met Robbie, and like he's just the best dude. He's everything you want to be. He's such a good, you know, we call him on a call sheet a number one. He's such a good number one because he's very kind and he works really hard and he's really nice to everybody, nice to the crew. He's a total sweetheart. I guess the story, you know, he's Canadian. So we shot up in Vancouver. He's from Toronto. And he was like, how are you doing? You know, how are you doing with everything? And I was like, I loved Vancouver. Vancouver was cool, but everything's a little different. It's just a little off. As far as, because it's not America. So, and what I'm used to, where I'm from. So I was like, it's cool. Like I love Vancouver. It's very outdoorsy and everything. I was like, I have to say, I do miss American candy. All the candy is different. Not that I can eat a ton of it. I have to stay in relatively good shape because Greg written me with my shirt off, like in several scenes. So I was like, I can't just gorge myself on candy. And he was like, what candy do you miss? And I was like, Butterfingers. And he was like, they're around. And I was like, I can't find them. And then like 4 days later, I came in to my trailer and like sitting on the table was a Butterfinger that Robbie had gone out and gotten.
Cute.
I was like, you son of a bitch. That's just a classy move. So,
that is amazing. I actually love Butterfinger also and Robbie Amell, so I probably would have died if that happened.
Yeah, you did both. Yeah, he was a stand-up guy and he got me a candy bar. I mean, the way to my heart right there. What are you gonna do?
Absolutely. I also want to talk about something fun because I know you did a movie in 2017, Parked. I know you wrote, produced, starred in it. You even have a composing credit for it. So, like, tell me about that. Like, I want to know about the composing credit, first of all, and just tell me working in front of and behind the camera. What was that like for you?
Well, I've driven my wife nuts with playing some guitar. So we needed a lot of transition music for this thing. So I did a lot of like the filler stuff with like a lot of anything that was kind of punky or surf. That's where I can feel at least a little comfortable. Would never call myself a musician because the friends that I have who are actual musicians would kick the shit out of me. Just like I wouldn't really call myself a theater actor because my theater friends would beat the shit out of me as well. We had this idea for this thing because that was my day job, was ballet. and it was like a very painful day job. Was
I can only
very
imagine.
oh yeah, it's a very scarring thing in any service industry in Los Angeles
Yes.
because of the disparity between those who are doing well and those who are not. Very obvious. In the valet, just like waiting tables, that they kind of, it gives people who are assholes a reason to be an asshole to you. So we had this idea of this guy who was based on someone I kind of worked with, who was turning 30 and was deciding whether or not to take this promotion. So we did this really cool thing. It's a short series on Amazon that's like 10 minutes per episode, 6 episodes. It's about this guy. Every episode is a day of a week where he's been given the opportunity to take or not take a promotion. So he's having kind of an existential crisis at 30. So it's a cool little series. Yeah, I made it with all my friends. My wife, we produced it and stuff, and it was, I wrote on it and acted in it with her, and it was just like a very rewarding experience. It was really cool.
That's amazing. Well, I'm looking for more things to watch in quarantine, so I'm probably going to jump back on that and
Cool.
check that
Yeah.
out. For sure. Well, Kevin, we talked about what you worked in the past, what you're doing now, and I want to talk about what you have next. So when all this ends, I want to see more of you. Can't wait to see more of you. So what you have going on next? What can people expect from you?
Well, I just had a book come out, which was super cool.
Amazing.
I wrote a novel that I've been working on for the past couple years. It's called Comaville. It's available on Amazon. You can get it there. You can get it on Bookshop. You can get it on. It's from Clash Books, is the publisher. You can get it there. It's about this guy who is in a coma, and he's trapped in the city of nostalgia in his mind. Like he's kind of encountering all of his memories as he's locked in his brain. So it's kind of a heady, trippy little. It's pretty funny, I think, but it's a cool little book. So you can get that. We're waiting to hear on Upload, which of course just came out. So we have some time, but I've been just kind of steady, like with trying to interact with fans and people that are finding the show and wanting to reach out and all that. So that's been super fun. So the industry's kind of course, on lockdown right now, but people are talking about hopefully getting started back up in, July, August, September, all those things. So hopefully we get a season 2, and hopefully we just jump right to that. And I have a movie out called The Wretched. It's playing in some drive-ins, but it's also available on Amazon for rental as well as Apple. So yeah, just really busy. And then Undone, I'm just talking about myself.
Yes, I love it.
Undone, which is the rotoscope show from the creators of BoJack Horseman, did really well this last year. We were just about to start shooting season 2. So that will be happening July, August, around there. And then in the meantime, I'll just be bugging the hell out of my wife playing guitar.
Well, I hope she is staying safe as well, staying sane, and you guys aren't driving each other too crazy. But it's been an absolute pleasure to have you here, Kevin. So fun. Everybody check out all the things Kevin has going on. His book, Upload, Undone. Amazing work he's been doing. I can't wait to see what he has next. This has been Quarantine with the Stars. Before we go, Kevin, where can people find you on social media?
I'm at Keven Bigley on Twitter, and then I believe on Instagram I'm at Keven W Bigley. And I just wanted to have a little fun with the name, so I threw in my middle initial. And if you can guess it, you get a prize, and that prize is I'll send like an emoji back.
Amazing. Well, I'll go and try and guess it. Is it William?
I wouldn't send an emoji till you didn't get it. I'm so sorry.
Dang it, that's my dad's name. I tried. All right. Well, I am Brian Santos. You can find me on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and TikTok at the Brian Santos. It's all the same for me. It's been Quarantine with the Stars. It's been an absolute pleasure to have you, Kevin. I can't wait to see what you have next. And to all of you out there, stay home, stay safe, stay positive. We will see you next time. Bye.
Wash your hands. Wash your hands.
Our founder, Keven Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.